Have you heard of humanity's first sins, but what was the third sin mentioned in the Bible? The story tells us that after fleeing from God's presence, Cain lived as a wanderer for many years. Meanwhile, Adam and Eve had other sons and daughters. At that time, people lived for hundreds of years, and over the course of that time, there were likely many humans living on the earth. We don't know who Cain married, but it was probably one of his sisters, or perhaps a daughter of his brothers. The fact is that Cain's clan became specialized in building cities, and here we find the third sin referred to in the Bible. Cain's son, named Lamech, married 2 women, and the practice of polygamy, like all other violations of God's institutions, has been a plentiful source of corruption and misery. However, Cain's descendants were very skilled and specialized in various things. Jabal, Lamech's son, was the first to live as a nomad, while his brother Jubal was the first to produce wind and string instruments. This practice aligns with what the Greeks wrote, where their gods, Pan and Apollo, were said to make musical instruments while tending animals. Lamech's third son was a great blacksmith, and he also had a 4th child, a daughter named Naamah. At one point, Lamech tells his 2 wives that he killed 2 men. The way he speaks suggests he acted in self-defense. However, he uses a phrase that God himself said when Cain feared being killed for what he did to his brother Abel. 7 times more punishment would come to anyone who killed Cain, but Lamech declares that 77 times would be the vengeance he would exact on his aggressor. We can see that Lamech was a powerful man, but also proud, arrogant, and violent. The Bible quickly shifts focus from Lamech to the new children God gave to Adam and Eve after Abel's death. These children would begin the salvation plan God had envisioned from creation, even before man existed. The Bible states that Eve had a son and named him Seth because he would continue Abel's lineage. But how did Eve know about God's plan for Seth? The Bible does not explain everything in detail, so we must seek understanding in the text. She likely received some divine communication, as we know Cain and Lamech's lineage only lasted until the flood. After all, Noah was a descendant of Seth. Lamech's arrogance served no purpose, for in the end he could not exact vengeance against God. This is the lesson for us. Do not be arrogant, do not rely on your own strength, and do not test the Lord. For God resists the proud but draws near to the humble.